this report that was put together by a number of community groups surveying young people right across the city of Toronto is that if you believe young people don't want to work and don't want a job, you should be disavowed of that notion. Over 60% of respondents said a job would help them reduce their dependence on their parents, for example. But the other key findings in this report show some of the challenges that young people face. 75% of young people said, a job must align with their values, their sense of purpose. But things like a lack of transportation, inaccessible job locations, competing responsibilities like trying to go to school or being a caregiver, that's 74% of you said that that was a problem. 77% reported that a lack of experience was a barrier to getting a job. That age-old question of how do you get experience when you have no experience to begin? And I think this is interesting. 60% said that their identity or how employers perceive their race, their age, their gender was a barrier. Here's one of the Toronto City Councillors talking about the challenges that youth face, and then a young person also expanding on that issue.
From working class families to even middle class families, the challenge of youth employment is very real. We saw this clearly last week when 54,000 people, predominantly young people, applied for 5,000 temporary summer jobs at the CNE. That really underscores the challenge before our young people and before our city.
Young people are ready to work, and I think this has been a message that young people have reiterated throughout this campaign. They've said, Stephen, tell them to give me a chance, give me an opportunity. I want to work, I want to contribute, I'm ready. Young people want to build a better future. We've heard the phrase oftentimes that youth are our most vulnerable asset, but unfortunately we haven't invested in those assets the way we should have.
So the call from the community groups is for government agencies and governments, all three levels, to come together to help create more jobs for young people. And to give you a sense of the kind of problem in terms of statistics that we're looking at from Stats Canada, the unemployment rate for those ages 15 to 24 was 14.2%. Now that's up over last year, but to give you some context, pre-pandemic, that number was closer to 11%. So the situation for young people has worsened considerably since the pandemic in terms of trying to find a job. And one of the things that's happening at Toronto City Hall is that a lot of young people are coming together to try and figure out ways to solve that problem.